Today we are going to continue learning about place value. In your last video we concentrated on the basics of place value, and today we're going to be reading, writing, and saying numbers. Make sure you are on the teacher side. We are going to take some notes. We're going to talk about what a digit is. A digit is actually a numeral in a number system. What that means is, in our number system, our digits are 0 through 9. So 0 all the way through 9 are used, we combine them in order to make our numbers. So if I have the digits 2, 7, and 3, I can combine them to make a variety of actual numbers. I can make it 273, I can make it 732, I can make it 327, and so on. Our number system, what we talked about the other day in the video, was that it's based on powers of 10. And we have to remember that because of these powers of 10, we have patterns that emerge in our place value system. The pattern that you will see that happens every time in all of our numbers is the ones place, tens, and the hundreds. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. So I'm just going to show you real quick a place value chart. And as you can see right here, we have the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. And I was telling you that there's a pattern that emerges. If you notice, the ones, tens, and hundreds repeats itself. Ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds, and so on. When we take our digits and we group them in threes, we create periods. So groups of 3 digits. This is still notes you're taking on the teacher's side. They are called periods. Looking back at that chart, we have the ones period. We also call this the units period. So if you hear your teacher say the ones period or the units period, you know you're talking about the very first part. This is the building block of our number, the units period. Because this pattern right here, like I said, is the one that keeps on continuing and repeating itself. It's cyclical. We also, our periods, we have the units period, or the ones period. Then we have our thousands. Then our millions period. And our billions period. And that's what we have to learn in 5th grade, through the billions place. And like I said a minute ago, the units period is the building block because that's where the pattern starts. You might have heard the word periods in science class. In science, the word period stands for like Jurassic period. So it could be a period of time. Which arts class you may hear about the Renaissance period or the industrial period, and it all has to do with time. Whereas in numbers, it has to do with groups of 3 digits that come together. Our place value chart is very helpful because it keeps things organized for you. If you can start remembering this chart in your head, you'll be able to do look at numbers and be able to tell different places and be able to locate a digit and its value just based on the chart. So if I have the number, I'm just going to write some digits down. Right now they're just random digits that I'm writing down. So I wrote those random digits down, but because I placed them in an order, they now have a value based on where they're at. So if I asked you what is the value of the 6, you could look at this 6 right here, see that it's in the hundred thousands place, so it has a value of 600,000, which we would write, I'm going to write it down here, 600,000. So these charts can help you with saying it because you can see where its name is. It can help you with writing its value and just being able to read it. because you know that you read each period at a time. So you'd say 3,710,621,582. We don't ever say this period because, like I said, it's just the building block. What you have to remember is that each period is separated by a comma. When we just write a 1-digit, 2-digit, or 3-digit number, you don't need it. But when you start getting to 4-digit numbers and larger, you have to separate every 3 numbers by a comma, going from right to left. This is what we talked about, how we write our numbers, and our numbers grow from right to left even though we read from left to right. So let's look at a number. If I were making the number 4,272, 4,272, I'm going to read it 4,272 from left to right, but I'm going to make sure my commas are in the right spot based on the right to left. So there's 1, 2, 3, that's my units period, and this now separates my units period from my thousands period. If you look at the chart again, you will see this as well. There is the comma separating each units period. And it's not that you just absolutely have to do it, it's just it keeps them organized so they're easier to say. Because if I just write down a number like this, and you're trying to read it, it just looks like the digits put together. If I separate, it's going to help me to say it better and be able to read it better. Now I can see, oh, 2,723,472,812. And if you remember, I didn't say the word "and" anywhere in that number because there's not a decimal in my number. You've got to practice when you you're reading and saying numbers that you don't use the word "and" unless there is a decimal. So this concludes our video, and you can take the quiz now.